Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 21 video. Today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow on the team. But in my opinion, I personally think Justin Herbert is better. And I did call it at the beginning of the season in my Chargers rebuild, my Madden 20 Chargers rebuild. I did think that Justin Herbert was better than Tua. I never said he was better than Burrow, but I did say he was better than Tua. I personally just think he's more committed. I personally think he has more drive to be there. So I think Justin Herbert's great. He's just on a bad team. Still, we're not here for Justin Herbert. We're here for Joe Burrow, and I do believe he does have superstar development. 78 overall, hidden development. It's very tragic that he did tear his ACL, though. If you guys did see that, it was very, very gruesome. But we have Joe Mixon with balance beam and arm bar as his superstar abilities. We have very raw talent here. I'm probably going to trade away AJ Green, and it is a realistic move to trade away AJ Green and John Ross because they both asked to be traded. It wasn't official, but there was rumors about AJ Green being traded, but John Ross did officially ask to be traded, but they haven't done that. But T. Higgins, I would like to start in the slot, and I do expect big things from T. Higgins. Hopefully, at least star dev throughout this rebuild. D-line is great. Defensive back needs some work. Safeties seem overall pretty solid. Nothing insane, though. Linebacking core definitely needs help, though. But this team is not as bad as people think it is. I just think it needs some coaching and just to develop is what it needs. Jesse Bates is a very underrated free safety as well. Special teams is all right, but still, I'm pretty excited to do this team. But other than that, boys, it is time to jump into some trades. So we are trading away AJ Green, Trey Waynes, and our tight end for a first, and a 2 from the New Orleans Saints. This is pretty realistic because AJ Green didn't officially ask to be traded, but there was rumors. Next, we're trading away Giovanni Bernard, Josh Bynes, and our another strong safety, a second-string strong safety for the projected number 1 pick in the draft. Now we're trading away our defensive tackle, our center, and our right guard for a first and a 6 from the Miami Dolphins. And this is what the team looks like after the trades, and honestly, it kind of looks the same. I can tell the offensive line has obviously regressed a little bit, but it's not even that bad. Like, we just removed a lot of the other old players. Like, this team doesn't look insanely different other than the O-line. Like, it's honestly not that bad. But other than that, not too great with this team, but not too amazing. But still, anyways, let's get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Titans. But we are currently 5-3 in a highly contested division as the Browns are 7-1. Sorry, I'm burping here. It's kind of weird. I do that all the time, but still, William Jackson the third here, 82 overall star dev. I want to see how he regresses at the end of the season, so I'm going to wait on that because regression does start at 28 and he is 27. Carl Lawson is here though, and I would love to re-sign him. A little bit of a big deal for an 81 overall, but he does stay with the team. Mackenzie Alexander, John Ross. I feel like he's still overrated for his speed. I don't know why Madden decides to give him 96 speed. He should clearly be 99 speed with the fastest official time for the 40-yard dash in the NFL. I don't know why Madden decides to lower it to 96, but still, anyways, guys, it is time to jump into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a win to the Ravens as we actually made the playoffs, and we have breakout player in William Jackson here. We are 8-8 here to face the 12-4 Cleveland Browns. We are second in the division behind the Browns, and Joe Burrow had a great rookie season, actually. 9th best offense in the NFL and 11th best defense. And it looks like Joe Burrow, 4,200 yards, 26 TDs, 15 interceptions, though, which is a little high. And Joe Mixon with 10 TDs, 1,200 yards, so very happy for Joe Mixon. Drew Sample with the most yards on our team and 3 touchdowns. T. Higgins with 7 TDs and almost 900 yards, so pretty good season for him as a rookie. Logan Wilson with the most tackles on team, most tackles for a loss. Goes to 15 for Sam Hubbard, most sacks on the team, goes to 11.5 for Carl Lawson, and most interceptions on the team, goes to 4 for Mackenzie Alexander. Safeties is 0, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So, not too great of a season, not too bad of a season. Offensively, I thought we were explosive. I thought this was a pretty good team, but still, it looks like, yes, we did get the 7th seed, so we barely slipped in there, but the Chiefs did get the 1st seed. We have Mackenzie Alexander here to break out in the challenge, and if he does break out, I might just keep him on the team, just because he'll go from normal to star dev. Hopefully he will, but other than that, I'm going to simulate this round against the 12-4 Cleveland Browns. Can we move on to the divisional round and beat the Cleveland Browns? No, we cannot. But Mackenzie Alexander, does he get his dev up? And he does, as he gets star dev, so I might just re-sign him just because he got star dev. But we do lose to the Browns, but Mackenzie Alexander, that was pretty cool. We got weekly awards here as well with Joe Burrow. 4 passing TDs, 1 interception, and 1 rush for 6 yards. But still, great game for Joe Burrow, I'm not even going to lie. Anyways, let's just get into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Packers beat the Browns in the Super Bowl, and we are looking into the retirements, and the retirements are our tight end and a defensive tackle that I picked up in free agency. Doesn't really matter, but Calais Campbell did retire for the Ravens, so that's kind of interesting. I'm a Ravens fan, so that would be pretty sad to see if we only signed him for 1 year, but still. William Jackson, 82 overall, star dev, regressed a slight bit, not insane though, so I would like to keep him on a 2-year, maybe 3-year deal. Yeah, 2 years would work for me, and he doesn't want to even resign. I didn't even bother to bump up the money. That's understandable. Mackenzie Alexander, he hasn't regressed because he's only 27 now. 3-year deal would be okay with me. Up the salary here, and he stays with the team. So I'm okay with Mackenzie Alexander staying with the team. And John Ross, I don't have an interest for, and everyone else here, I would not like to resign either. John Ross, first round bust. I'm going to say it. I don't really care if you guys think so. I feel like he could do better on some other teams, but it seems like they haven't even been getting him involved, even with Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow has Lofting Deadeye and Gutsy Scrambler as his superstar abilities, and T. Higgins has Star Dev. So that is great. I would love to keep him in the slot and continuously keep him in the slot. Auden Tate and Tyler Boyd are definitely raw players. And it looks like Carl Lawson now has superstar dev with inside stuff. And it looks like Geno Atkins got regressed down to just star dev, which is interesting. Logan Wilson has star dev as well now. I might turn off dev trait regressions. I forgot to do that last time. So, yeah, other than that, let's get into the free agency. Here we are after free agency. And offensively, we didn't do much but get depth players in Phillip Lindsay. And we also got D.D. Westbrook on an extremely cheap deal just because nobody was touching him, so I might as well pick him up. And it looks like we also got Mike Pouncey as our center. I'm only signing him on a 1-year deal. It's kind of like a rental player. And defensively, it looks like we didn't really do too much. And special teams wise, I got Joey Sly because you can't teach 99 kick power. And I got Matt Hawk here. I'm Matt Hawk. That sounded super weird. I'm sorry. I'm cutting Austin Cyber. We don't need him. And I'm cutting this other kicker because we also don't need him. But, yeah, other than that, guys, this team looks pretty solid. Nothing amazing, though. I feel like it does have a lot of potential. So, other than that, boys, it is time to jump into the draft. And here we are in the draft, picking up a defensive back to replace William Jackson. Virgil Pittman, 77 overall, normal development, 21 years old, slot archetype. So, he's going to be pretty good. Next, we're picking up a right outside linebacker, hidden development, 75 overall, Taekwon Kilgore, 23 years old, so I feel like he'll be a pretty good outside linebacker that we do need. Next, we're picking up a left outside linebacker, 74 overall, only normal development, sadly, but ranked number 12 in the class as we did pick him up at number 20. So the O-lineman class wasn't insane. Kind of had to pick up some late O-linemen, and I would like to start my rookie tight end instead and put Phillip Lindsay at fullback because I feel like he could progress a little bit better than Drew Sample. And it looks like defensively we're getting a lot better. We just need to develop, in my opinion. Yeah, again, other than that, boys, I would say that it is time to jump into the midseason mark. So here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Lions as we are 4-3 apparently, and we are third in the division behind the Browns and the 7-1 Ravens, who are currently leading the division. But we have players to resign such as 89 overall star development Jesse Bates. This is a pretty big contract for a safety. Safeties don't usually get paid this much, but we are going to resign him, and he does stay with the team. Auden Tate, 80 overall, star dev, definitely a raw player. This is a pretty good contract for someone with his potential, and he resigns with the team. Sam Hubbard, I would like to keep around. Little expensive for his overall, I think. Yeah, but it's okay. I'll still resign him to this contract, and he does stay with the team. Mike Pouncey is a rental player. Everyone else here I do not have an interest for. So other than that, guys, I would say that it is time to jump into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs as we're coming off a loss to the Broncos, and we actually didn't make the playoffs. Bottom of the division at 7-9. The Steelers, then the Ravens, then the Browns beat us all out. And looks like we had the best offense in the NFL, actually, which is surprising. Cam Newton won MVP, and Joe Burrow fourth for the MVP race. And I need to look at something. Offensive Player of the Year, he was third. Best QB, he got fourth. So He was top 3 there. He was top 3 for Offensive Player of the Year. Pretty proud of him for a second-year QB to do that, but surprised that we didn't even make the playoffs after those numbers. But 4,400 yards for him. 4,400 yards, 38 TDs, and 11 interceptions. Definitely a great season for him. 10 TDs and 1,300 yards for Joe Mixon. Tyler Boyd, 1,200 yards and 12 TDs. Monster season. That's got to be a dev up. Defensively, Logan Wilson with the most tackles on the team, most tackles for a loss, goes to 14 for Carl Lawson, and most sacks on the team goes to 9.5 for Carl Lawson. Most interceptions, 3 for Virgil Pittman, the rookie, and safeties is 1 for Geno Atkins, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So other than that, boys, I've noticed that regression hasn't regressed too much, and I do believe they fixed it, but other than that, let's get into the offseason. So here we are in the offseason as the Browns beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, and we are going to check on the retirements as it looks like Geno Atkins is retired. As I was saying before, that actually EA did a better job with the regression system in the update, so they did fix that. They did show stats. They did add a playoff bracket, which is a lot cooler. I really respect it that they actually tried at least to help out rebuilding the franchise community. Still kind of sucks, but still hopefully they'll make it a little bit better, especially in simulation. Simulation sucks, dude. You have to have a god squad, and even then you can't even make the playoffs. But Joe Burrow has Superstar X Factor with Freight Train, Gutsy Scrambler, Lofting Deadeye, No Look Deadeye, and Gunslinger. So very cool abilities. Definitely like those. Tyler Boyd here with, it looks like Superstar Dev, as you can see, Spin Cycle and Reach For. I'm going to change Spin Cycle, I don't really like that, to match up Nightmare and Reach For it. But still, Joe Burrow, again, I'm going to change one of his. I don't like really Gutsy Scrambler that much, I would say. It's very specific, and Lofting Deadeye is alright. Everything here, I might just keep it the same. Sleight of Hand is the stupidest one. Sleight of Hand is the dumbest thing that EA ever made. More like you have a higher chance of pump fake out rates on zone coverage plays. It's the most oddly specific thing, and nobody even does pump fakes except K, yes, or whatever his name is for Mutt. I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys are just watching me do all these little upgrades for my player. And for Joe Burrow, I'm just being dumb. You guys can skip this if you want, but I'm going to change his superstar ability to Gambler, and everyone else here kind of looks the same. Joe Mixon, sadly, has not gotten Superstar X Factor. I'm going to change this to Bulldozer, though, and everything else here kind of looks the same to me, but defensively, it looks like this dude right here has a Superstar Dev, and it looks like he started with that, and he has extra credit, so I'm going to change it to Out My Way. I think that's the better one, or Under Pressure is a better one. Ripper is all right. I really shouldn't be diving into much. Maybe Reach Elite. I'm going to go with Reach Elite, actually. And it looks like this normal development is now a Star Dev from the draft, so I'm very excited that he got a dev up. As you can see, it says plus Star Dev. And everyone else here, I don't really have an interest for. Virgil Pittman, though, did not get a dev up, which is pretty disappointing. But other than that, boys, I would say that it's time to jump into free agency. So here we are after free agency, and this is what the team looks like, as we got Jason Kelsey here and Alejandro Villanueva. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Jason Kelsey as well, and David Njoku at tight end. So Joe Burrow has the complete package here. Pretty good offensive line, and he's finally got a tight end. And we also, defensively, we didn't really do too much. But it looks like, oh, wait, no, go back. I don't want D.D. Westbrook in the slots. I wanted T. Higgins there. Maybe that's why T. Higgins didn't really get a dev up this year. I want T. Higgins to be in the slot and D.D. Westbrook just to be a backup. That's why I signed D.D. Westbrook on an extremely cheap contract, and I want to put D.D. Westbrook as a third string. So, yeah. Other than that, boys, I would say that it is time to jump into the draft. Here we are in the draft, picking up a center who I'm probably going to move to guard, 77 overall, normal development, 23 years old. Hopefully I can remember to actually move him to the guard position. Next, we're picking up an offensive tackle to replace Geno Atkins, 71 overall, hidden development. Picked him up at number 20. We picked him up at number 46, even though he's ranked number 28. But still, this is what the team looks like after the draft, as I forgot to move the center to guard, so I'll probably do that on camera. Move T. Higgins to the slots, and yeah, this team looks pretty good, I would say. And I need to go back and move this center into the right guard position. And Joe Burrow definitely has his O-line that he has needed for a while. And I think Alejandro Villanueva, or whatever his name is, if I'm not pronouncing it right, I'm sorry, will probably retire after this season. He's pretty old, but this O-line is not bad. He shouldn't have a problem with it. And definitely the D-tackle helps fill in the position a little bit more. Wish that Virgil Pittman was at least a star dev, and I think the team would be complete. But other than that, I'm not going to complain too much, so let's get to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the New York Jets. We are 3-4 somehow with this kind of team, as the 5-2 Ravens and 6-1 Browns are above us. And it looks like Von Bell is here, and I would like to re-sign Von Bell, 82 overall star dev. He's 27 years old, but we are going into our final season, so it doesn't matter too much. This isn't the final season. The next season will be, I do believe, or the next season, I don't know. I just lose track. Everyone else here I don't have an interest for, but it will be the next season after this one. That will be the final season. But anyways, here we are in the playoffs as we are coming off a win to the Browns, but don't make the playoffs, as it looks like the Ravens made the playoffs and the Steelers made the playoffs, but not the Browns or the Bengals. It looks like we took the Browns out of the playoffs. We were the reason why they didn't make the playoffs. Kind of sounds like how the Bengals removed the Ravens from the playoffs that one year. But it looks like we had 6th best offense and 18th best defense. Joe Burrow, 4,000 yards, 35 TDs, 9 interceptions. Joe Mixon, 13 touchdowns and 1,400 yards. Great season. Tyler Boyd over 1,000 yards, 9 TDs. T. Higgins with 10 TDs and almost 1,000 yards. Great season for him as well. Defensively, Von Bell with the most tackles on the team. Most tackles for a loss goes to 14 for Carl Lawson. Most sacks on the team goes to 4.5 for Sam Hubbard. And most interceptions, 3 for Logan Wilson. Most safeties on the team goes to 0. And defensive touchdowns is 0. So, other than that, guys, I would say that is time to jump into the offseason. So we haven't really made the playoffs other than the first season, which was kind of disappointing so far, but we have some retirements to get into. And that would be, Alejandro Villanueva retires as a left guard for the Bengals. I don't know why I'm burping so much. Like, I keep having some weird things. I don't know what's going on. If my commentary is bad today, I'm sorry. It's just how it is. But it looks like the Packers beat the Raiders today in the Super Bowl. Not today. Beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl in Madden. But Joe Mixon now has Superstar X Factor with Freight Train, Tank, and Human Joystick. As I changed his ability, Human Joystick is absolutely stupid. And it looks like the O-line did regress without Alejandro Villanueva. And it looks like Logan Wilson is here as well. And this dude already has superstar abilities with Rachel Lee, as I said before. But Logan Wilson now has superstar abilities with Out My Way I put on him. And Von Bell is now a superstar as well with Out My Way as well. And everyone else is pretty good here. So apart from that, boys, it is time to jump into free agency. So after free agency, I got David DeCastro to replace Alejandro Villanueva, who is definitely a better upgrade than him. 90 overall, superstar development with post up and fool me once as his abilities. And everything else here looks pretty good. I also got Darius Slay here, not Darius Slayton, the god. That would be a pretty fun matchup. Darius Slayton, the wide receiver, versus Darius Slay, the defensive back. But other than that, boys, it is time to jump into the draft. So here we are in the draft as we are getting a 4th and a 4th for giving away a 4th and another 4th for Bobby Wagner, the middle linebacker that we've always needed. And we're also trading away a 1st and a 3rd for Travis Kelce as the Kelce brothers unite finally. I do believe these are the Kelce brothers. If they're not related in any way, I am so sorry. Yeah, I am so sorry that I'm so dumb. But double me deep out elite are his abilities, and I'm going to change that to reach for it as one of his abilities. And we got the apprentice thing or whatever, that he gets more routes. And we also have Bobby Wagner, the middle linebacker, the leader that we've always needed. And I'm going to change his superstar X Factor to shutdown, maybe reinforcement. I kind of want avalanche, but I guess I'm just going to go run stuffer here. And I'm going to go probably no outsiders or Out My Way. And Supreme Tackler is actually pretty good, so I'm going to leave that on Tackle Supreme or whatever it is. So this team isn't bad, it isn't great either, but apart from that, boys, I would say that it is time to jump into the midseason mark. So here we are at the midseason mark as we are 4-4 coming off a win to the Browns, as we are 3rd in the division only, as the Ravens are 6-1 top of the division. But we have players to resign, but just like every season in the final season, I don't need to resign anybody because it is the final season. So apart from that, boys, I would say that it is time to jump into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs as we're coming off a win shutting out the Texans 31-0, and we have a 1st round bye the number one in the division. The Browns are also here, and the Ravens are also here as well in the playoffs, so that's interesting, as the Ravens are 11-5, Browns are 10-6, but we finished great. Joe Burrow was kind of amazing in touchdowns, not great in yards. 9th best offense, 4th best defense, though. 3,900 yards, 40 TDs, 9 interceptions. Joe Mixon, 8 TDs, and 1,400 yards. Tyler Boyd, 907 yards, 9 TDs. Great ball distribution all around, though. And defensively, I would say Bobby Wagner with the most tackles on the team, most tackles for a loss, goes to 15 for Sam Hubbard. Most sacks on the team goes to 9 for Carl Lawson. And most interceptions goes to 3 for Mackenzie Alexander. Safeties on the team is 1 for Bobby Wagner, and defensive touchdowns on the team is 1 for Darius Slay. So I think bringing in Bobby Wagner was definitely a big game changer, but we have to simulate this wild card round here to see who we're going to be facing in the divisional round. But once again, I'm pretty happy with bringing in Bobby Wagner. It was a little bit unrealistic, especially only trading 2 fourth rounders, but still, we got him, and I'm happy. So we're here to face the divisional rivals, the Baltimore Ravens, who are 11-5 as well. So that's definitely interesting, as we are 12-4. So at the midseason mark, weren't we 4-4? Yeah, I do believe so. We went on a massive winning streak, now that I recall. But the Ravens are 11-5. Hopefully we can beat them in this match. So I'm just going to jump into it. So here we are in simulation against the Ravens, and whenever you jump into simulation, the Ravens usually do bad because scrambling quarterbacks aren't that great in Madden simulation. So it's 9-24, and that's actually going to end up being your game, as we beat the Ravens 9-24 to move on to the conference championship. Here we are in the conference championship, here to face the 10-6 Las Vegas Raiders, as we could potentially be facing the Seattle Seahawks or the Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl. So other than that, boys, it is time to jump into the Las Vegas Raiders game. So here we are facing the Las Vegas Raiders. Sadly, I wanted to play at their stadium, kind of, because it's in Las Vegas. It's kind of cool. 22-24, but we are here with home field advantage, of course, and that's actually going to be your game, as they have Adam Gase as their head coach. No wonder why they lost. 22-24 is your final score, and it looks like we are facing the Carolina Panthers as well, as the Seahawks lost by 3 possessions, so that's kind of interesting. But we have a 91 overall team. Very surprising, but I would have been pissed if this 91 overall team didn't make the Super Bowl. But still, amazing year, and it looks like DJ Reader now has superstar development. As you can see, he got it with goal line stuff, so I'm probably going to change that. Maybe I won't. Under pressure actually seems like a really good ability, so I'll do that, especially since he's on the D-line. Under pressure is what I'm going to put on DJ Reader. And other than that, boys, I'm very excited for this matchup, so it is time to jump into this matchup against the Carolina Panthers. So here we are in the matchup against the Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl, as it is 34-17, now 24-34, and 2 minutes left in the game. 37-24, 31-37. Now 1 minute left in the game. 31-37 is your final score, as Joe Burrow beats the Carolina Panthers, and it looks like a CPU generated QB and Brian Burns in the Super Bowl. And let's see who the MVP is. Your Super Bowl MVP is going to be Carl Lawson. 7 tackles, 4 sacks, 0 TD, 0 interceptions. So 4 sacks in the Super Bowl. Pretty insane. I'm pretty sure the record is 3. So I think he broke the record. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed, because I know I did. Definitely a very fun and exciting rebuild. I very much enjoyed rebuilding the Bengals. Rebuilding it with Joe Burrow just makes it so much more fun. But if you guys did enjoy, make sure you like and or subscribe. It really helps out my channel. It really helps me grow, develop. And if you guys do enjoy it, make sure you turn on notifications, because I do have a very popular series that is a fan favorite called Wheel of Franchise. So you guys should definitely go check that out. But anyways, guys, that's enough of that, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.